I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged.
6 records shattered, yet Caitlyn Clark fell just 1 point short. That's the heartbreaking reality she faced after her electrifying performance against the Atlanta Dream. While the scoreboard read 91-90 in a narrow loss, the history books were being rewritten right before our eyes.
Dug themselves into a early hole here. Clark looking to get going. Oh, that's a deep 3!
Get ready to ride the emotional roller coaster of Caitlyn Clark's unforgettable night against Atlanta, from controversial referee calls that had even her boyfriend tweeting in disbelief, to the exact moment she shattered records that took WNBA legends years to achieve. One of those milestones? Clark surpassed Sabrina Ionescu with ease. Even more jaw-dropping, she matched a record that took Courtney Vandersloot 394 games in just her 42nd. If you're fired up for the Fever, drop a comment below to show your support even after this heartbreaking loss. Let's go!
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually. So it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well.
What if I told you that one of the greatest individual performances in WNBA history still wasn't enough to seal the win? That's exactly what unfolded when the Fever went head-to-head with the Atlanta Dream, in a heart-stopping battle that ended in a crushing 91-90 loss. Just 1 point. That's all that stood between Caitlyn Clark and capping off her record-breaking night with a team victory.
Honestly, I give my team a lot of credit, my teammates a lot of credit. We never gave up. We fought. We were right there. We found a way to get back in it. When things didn't seem very good for this group, at least we stayed together and we kept fighting, and that's a positive.
Those final moments told the story of what could have been. With just 9.7 seconds left and the Fever down by 1, Caitlyn Clark inbounded the ball to Natasha Howard. The original play was drawn up for Aaliyah Boston, but the Dream's defense shut that down fast. Howard managed to get a clean look, but Nia Coffey came up big with the block. Howard fought for her own rebound and put up a second shot, but the ball just wouldn't fall.
They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. It's going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but it's just a little thing.
Free throws turned out to be the silent killer for the Fever. They went just 16 for 26 from the line, missing 10 critical points in a game decided by 1. Natasha Howard struggled the most, going 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter alone, while Aaliyah Boston also missed a key free throw in the final minutes. In a 1-point loss, those misses loomed large. Still, the Fever showed incredible heart, battling back from double-digit deficits more than once. Their resilience was undeniable, but defensively, they just couldn't hold it together for all 4 quarters. The Dream exploded for 31 points in the first and 32 in the third, while the Fever held them to just 13 and 15 in the second and fourth. That defensive inconsistency proved costly, and coach Stephanie White didn't hold back when addressing the team's struggles.
I didn't think we were disruptive at all. I felt like we let them move the ball wherever they wanted to. We had a lot of breakdowns in our coverages. We weren't really helping one another out. We played like 5 individuals defensively at times instead of collectively as a unit. And good teams take advantage of that. Atlanta was really good at getting downhill. They knocked down some tough shots, but when you dig yourself a hole, it makes it really difficult to use all your energy to come back.
The Dream's strategy to contain Caitlyn Clark worked just enough to make a difference. They threw multiple defenders at her and applied full-court pressure to disrupt her rhythm throughout the game. Dream coach Carl Smesko explained their approach, saying, "We tried to keep it out of some people's hands, including Clark. We were just hoping to force them into taking a tough shot."
What was the plan defensively for the Fever's last possession of the game?
We just put a lineup up there that we thought could match up. We were going to, if we needed to, we'd switch if we got hung up on anything. We tried to keep it out of some people's hands. And we were just hoping to take a tough shot. And they probably got a shot that they felt good about, but we played really good defense on the shot. We, didn't foul and made it tough.
Inside, the Fever had no answer for Brittney Griner and Naz Hillman, who combined for a dominant 40 points, and 21 rebounds. Rhyne Howard chipped in with 20 points, including 4 clutch three-pointers that helped seal the win for Atlanta. You can still see the chemistry developing with this young Fever squad. Defensive rotations broke down at key moments, and players seemed unsure of their help assignments. Those split-second decisions that come with time and familiarity just weren't there yet. And while we'll get to the records Caitlyn Clark shattered, this loss stings even more because of something completely out of the players' control: the officiating, which had everyone from fans to Clark's own boyfriend fired up in frustration.
Boston continues to show her frustration. It really started a couple.
Imagine giving it everything you've got, breaking records left and right, only to have the game's outcome altered by missed calls. That's exactly what Caitlyn Clark endured in this heartbreaker against Atlanta. The frustration was written all over her face. The officiating was so questionable that coach Stephanie White had to use both of her challenges before halftime. Let that sink in. Both gone in the first half on what she called clear missed calls. One of those challenges was burned on a basic out-of-bounds play that should have been an easy call for the officials.
How disruptive were that first half, the choppy waters, the stoppages like Caitlyn was talking about, and you guys never really were able to get in the pace like you've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, it's every coach's frustration when you have to use challenges on out-of-bounds plays. I mean, it is what it is. But for teams to win 3 challenges in the first half, I don't know that I've ever seen that either.
Clark couldn't hide her frustration as the game wore on. Nearly every drive to the basket involved contact, yet the whistle stayed silent. Time after time, she threw her arms up in disbelief, stunned by the lack of calls. Her frustration kept building with each missed opportunity. And while she tried to stay composed, her conversations with the officials clearly weren't leading anywhere.
A piece of the ball, and Clark says part of her arm as well. Jump ball is... Well, she's just so impressive because it's felt like a relatively quieter Caitlyn.
The controversy didn't stop on the court. It exploded online when Caitlyn Clark's boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, posted a tweet that instantly went viral. Good to see the refs in mid-season form. The post quickly racked up thousands of retweets as fans and analysts alike joined the chorus of criticism, and the outrage wasn't baseless. Video footage backed up the complaints, showing Clark taking clear contact on multiple drives without a single whistle. In one especially blatant sequence, she was bumped while shooting a three-pointer with obvious contact on the follow-through, yet the official stayed silent.
Just the first half seemed pretty choppy with, the amount of fouls, the challenges. Just how did that affect you as the point guard and just the team's pace as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, to me, challenges cannot take that long. It ruins the flow of the game. I get it. It's early in the year. The refs want to make the right call. We can't sit there for 2.5, 3 minutes and on an obvious hit out of bounds off of them and still not know the call. I get it. There's things to look at. There's the clock. There's is the ball going to be taken out. But that's not the only reason the flow of the game was ruined. But we're just standing there. We're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And then obviously, like I said, a lot of free throws shot between both teams tonight. That makes the game more choppy when there's a lot of fouls.
These missed calls didn't just cost free throws, they disrupted Indiana's entire offensive flow. The game turned choppy and disjointed, keeping the Fever from finding any consistent rhythm. Clark spoke about this frustration after the game, pointing out how tough it was for the team to settle with so many questionable calls. One commentator didn't hold back, saying, "The officiating was on full display tonight. It was terrible." Another called the refs hilarious, but definitely not in a good way. Now the big question is whether the WNBA will address these concerns as Clark continues to bring unprecedented attention to the league. A 1-point loss marked by so many controversial calls demands serious scrutiny. But amid all the disappointment, there's an incredible silver lining. A historic performance that rewrote the record books in ways no one saw coming.
When Coach White is put in a position to have to use both her challenges in the first half on calls that were pretty point blank, and then we're left with none there in the second half, which, you can pick and choose. Maybe you save them, maybe you don't, but still, every single possession matters. But like I said, it doesn't come down to that. No matter what, if it's a choppy game, we got to find a way to find our flow a little bit better, especially to start the game and start the second half, for sure.
Though the scoreboard reflected defeat, the record books were being completely rewritten right before our eyes. In a single night, Caitlyn Clark didn't just break one record, she shattered 6 and added 2 more milestones to her already impressive resume. This wasn't just a great game. It was a historic performance that firmly places her in a league of her own.
Second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3. That is just that signature Caitlyn Clark shot. She will launch. Oh, yes!
Let's start with a stat that will blow your mind. Caitlyn Clark tied Courtney Vandersloot's record for the most 20-point, 10-assist games in WNBA history, hitting that milestone 10 times. But here's the kicker. Clark achieved this in just 42 games, setting a league record. Vandersloot needed 394 games to reach the same mark. That's not a typo. 394 games versus 42. Clark is doing in one season what took other legends their entire careers.
There's that track screen.
Bounce it for Boston. Boston lays it in. It's a 2-point game.
They haven't had much of that tonight.
She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 350 career assists, doing it in just those same 42 games. The previous record holder, Ticha Penicheiro, whose rookie assist record Clark broke last year, needed 47 games back in 1999. It's even more impressive when you consider legends like Sue Bird and Teresa Weatherspoon, who each took 56 games to hit that milestone. Remember Sabrina Ionescu's record of 5 games with 25-plus points and 10-plus assists? Clark smashed that, now holding the record with 6 such games. Ionescu needed 5 years in the WNBA to set her mark. Clark passed her in just her second year. And here's something that had never happened before in the history of the league. Clark became the first player ever to start a season with back-to-back games of 20-plus points and 10-plus assists. Most players dream of having one game like that all season. Clark kicked off her sophomore year with 2 straight.
Different times during the game. Situational defense will be better because they have all those things. I think that's a combination of why they're going to have a much better defensive effort.
There's Clark with a beautiful find inside to Aaliyah Boston.
What really sets her apart is her versatility. Caitlyn Clark is now the first player in WNBA history to have multiple games with 25-plus points, 10-plus assists, 5-plus rebounds, and 5-plus made three-pointers. No one else has done that even once. Clark has done it multiple times in just 42 games. In her final stat line against the Dream, she put up 27 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 5 three-pointers, shooting 9 of 20 from the field and 5 of 11 from beyond the arc. Just another day at the office, and she's not done breaking records. Clark has hit 2 major milestones on her climb up the WNBA all-time ranks. She's now the 4th fastest player to reach 800 career points, showing how quickly she's piling up numbers across the board. She also tied Chelsea Gray for the 10th most double-doubles by a guard in WNBA history. Again, achieving this in a fraction of the games it took other stars.
The other thing they're trying to speak into existence is 6 or 7 players averaging double figures. They believe it.
Backdoor pass there from Clark to Kelsey Mitchell.
The last season and into this year. Such a great backdoor cut.
What makes these achievements so remarkable is how Clark seamlessly combines elite passing with scoring versatility. She's not just a shooter or just a passer. She's elite at both simultaneously. Her consistency sets her apart from other young stars. Starting the season with back-to-back 20-point, 10-assist games proves this isn't a one-game wonder. The scary part? Clark is still developing. She's still learning the league, still building chemistry with her teammates. Imagine what will happen when she's fully comfortable. What records will fall when she reaches her prime? The possibilities feel endless. These individual milestones point to something much bigger brewing in Indiana. While one game ended in heartbreak, the long-term trajectory of this Fever team with Clark leading the way should have the entire league worried. Very worried.
Second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3.
And then right here. Boy, you've grown to love watching it.
Even after the heartbreak of a 1-point loss, you can't ignore what's building in Indiana. A dynasty in the making. This painful defeat against Atlanta actually revealed just how high this Fever team's ceiling really is. When your team breaks multiple records in a loss, just imagine what they'll do when everything clicks. The contrast is striking. Clark's historic night alongside issues that are completely fixable. Free throws, defensive rotations, late-game execution. These aren't problems of talent. They're chemistry problems, and those naturally improve with time.
But like I said, it was just flat. We missed free throws. We missed layups. We didn't really execute. They were physical. And I think that was kind of why we weren't and didn't feel as smooth as we would have liked there.
Look at the core that's already established. Aaliyah Boston put up a monster 24-point, 10-rebound double-double against Atlanta. Coach White praised her outstanding effort battling the Dream's bigs. Kelsey Mitchell added 24 points of her own, and showed the leadership this young team desperately needs. Lexie Hull brought energy off the bench that shifted the game's momentum multiple times.
I thought AB was outstanding. She battled, for what, 36, almost 37 minutes. And BG and Bree Jones are two of the best bigs in our league. I thought she did an outstanding job, and we got to learn and grow from it.
Now add the veterans still finding their place. Natasha Howard, Dana Bonner, Sydney Colson, and Brianna Turner. Sophie Cunningham hasn't even played yet due to injury. This is a team still figuring itself out. Coach White couldn't help but praise their fight, saying, "I'm proud of our fight and our resilience. We stayed together, we stayed engaged." That ability to claw back from double-digit deficits speaks volumes about their character. As White pointed out, we've fallen behind in games and stayed together.
Kelsey and AB and Caitlyn have played together, so they have this synergy. And really with DB and with Tosh, like how we bring them into the fold, so to speak. And that's a challenge that we're looking into. We're trying to figure out. Shorter stints because it was an up and down game, right? And I felt like Kels, Caitlyn, and Lexie were giving us really good stuff, on both ends of the floor. And it's tough when you feel like you're starting to get some momentum to sub. I probably should have subbed a little bit more in that second half, but like the group that was out there.
The statistical improvements from last season jump off the page. The Fever are already showing higher scoring numbers, better assist percentages, and improved three-point shooting. Their offensive rating has climbed significantly even as chemistry continues to develop. Strangely enough, this tough loss might actually accelerate their growth more than an easy win would. Clark admitted, "This game gives us an opportunity to learn," adding that the team is building relationships and communication. These painful lessons forge stronger bonds than comfortable victories ever could. What makes this team so dangerous going forward is the combination of Clark's record-breaking talent with a collective hunger fueled by such a devastating loss. When the fixable issues get fixed, and they will, the rest of the WNBA should be very scared of what's coming. The future isn't just bright, the future is fever.
It's a part of, being a professional athlete. It comes with the territory. Some nights is good and some nights is bad. Do I want us to make them? Yeah. Do they want to make them? Yeah. But I think that that's a part of the game, and we can't, hang our hats on those missed free throws. However, as a professional athlete, it's important and imperative that we do have them. So we know the importance of it.
This game against Atlanta showed us exactly what the Fever's future holds. 6 broken records in a single night by Clark, Boston, and Mitchell, becoming the stars they're meant to be. Yet Coach White knows the truth. We still have to figure out how to get all 5 players on the floor on the same page, on both ends of the court. That's what makes this team so fascinating. The talent is already there, the chemistry is coming, the defensive rotations will tighten, and the free throws will fall. What happens then? A championship. Fever is coming, one that builds with every record Clark breaks and every lesson this young team learns together. The best part? It's only just begun. Comment "Fired up for the Fever" down below to show your support despite the heartbreaking loss. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.